Another 14 Christians have been ruthlessly gunned down in the ongoing genocide in Nigeria. Truth Nigeria's Masara Kim joins us now. But before we get to you, my friend, you just sent me a video of a mass burial. You took this video. Let's take a look. Now, Masara, we just did a video about these people last week. You're back on again. This just keeps happening. What happened with these 14 people?
Yeah, so yesterday, by way of summary, these residents, actually a vehicle conveying 20 villagers, Christian villagers, en route from a market town 45 miles south of Jos, the capital of Plateau State, to a small village on the west of the Bokos County, was ambushed by terrorists who were shouting Allahu Akbar and speaking the Fulani dialect, according to survivors. Eventually, incidentally, 14 of the occupants of that vehicle were killed instantly, and they included children of ages 3 to 5. And of course, the majority of them have shared, clips from that incident. The pictures from that incident are not good for the screen. They might not be good to broadcast, but it is also important to understand the very barbaric nature in which these attacks have been carried out, and the way continually innocent citizens whose only offense is being a Christian are being slaughtered on a daily basis. You talked about the mass burial that happened today. It was the burial of 27 people that were killed on July the 15th, some 15 miles south west of Jos, the capital of Plateau State. And we did talk about that, how babies, including a 3-year-old, actually there were 11 children from between the ages of 3 months old and 7 years old that were killed alongside those 27. And apparently the attacks have not ended. The attacks do not even show any sign of receding or ending at all. Yesterday, we had a press conference, highlighting the situation, the escalating situation in Nigeria, the persecution of Christians in Nigeria in Washington, D.C. And in that press conference, we premiered a video. The press conference was organized by Equipping the Persecuted, which has boots on the ground and is helping lots of, thousands of survivors of terror attacks, Christian persecution in Nigeria. And we premiered a groundbreaking documentary on the ongoing persecution of Christians in Nigeria, specifically highlighting the massacre of more than 280 Christians that were chiefly burned in makeshift shelters, chiefly stores that were provided as makeshift shelters for these people who had fled previous terror attacks from the surrounding communities to seek shelter, pending when the situation, stabilizes in their communities, or the government provides recognized or more inhabitable shelters for them. But eventually, they were attacked and burned in those stores. And so we did a documentary, premiered it, but as we ended that press conference, which was attended by rights groups and congressmen, including Chris Smith, there was shooting just 45 miles south of Jos. And this time around, it happened in my village. Where it happened, is my village. And the scene of the incident was exactly the same scene of a brutal murder of more than 60 people on Christmas Eve 2 years ago. You might have heard about the murder of more than 250 Christians in 2023 from the eve of Christmas, lasting up to about 6 days, the following 6 days. of those 250 plus that were killed, more than 60 were trapped in a stream where they had escaped and were seeking shelter. And they were literally hacked down. They were chopped with machetes like ladyfinger or vegetable, and they were abandoned. The river was just left flowing with the blood of human beings. It was a dry river, but this time around it was flooding with the blood of these innocent victims who were chiefly, in fact, they were 100%, just to be for the safe side, 85 to 95% women and children. And I spoke to one of the survivors, and she told me that those that attacked her and her children alone were more than 50, aside from others who teamed up, who swarmed other escapees that were seeking shelter or ducking for cover in this stream. Now, yesterday they went for to carry out. Just to buy some small, little food items for their families. And while they were returning, they were ambushed by these terrorists who, by the way, went further to launch a mass attack on the community. The name of the community is Mangor, spelled Mangor. Now, after killing those 14 people on the road to the village, they went further, mobilized this time around in larger numbers, and invaded that community. If not for the swift response of the local civilian volunteers, whose efforts were later bolstered by a small army unit, I think that this time around, by this time, we would have been talking about more than 400 or 500 people that would have been massacred.
Well, Masara, you've sent me photos, and obviously we can't share them on YouTube because YouTube would take it down, understandably so. But let me tell you, from an American perspective, my phone is full of photos you sent me, other reporters at Truth Nigeria sent me, Frank and Uto, and it's the most graphic, horrific thing I've ever seen. These I just want you to know that if you're watching this, myself, my editor, we've had to look at all of these, and they're very real. They're unbelievably barbaric. It's sick. It's demonic. We can kind of show some blurred images, but these are real people. And Masara, I can feel your frustration. It's almost like we do one of these videos every 3 or 4 days. And personally, we've been talking about this story in Nigeria. There's a genocide happening against the Druze in Syria, but man, that old saying, "No Jews, no news." The world just doesn't seem to care. The UN just doesn't seem to care. But I know that the CBN audience cares, and know that we are doing everything we could possibly do. We are praying for you. We love you. You're not alone in this. And if nothing else, we're going to continue to shine a light on the evil darkness that is happening in your country, because we believe the name of Yeshua is stronger than anything else. But as for now, Masara Kim, I thank you. And again, I pray peace over your family and your community. I pray that we don't have to do this again. But as for now, Masara Kim, thank you so much.
Thank you, Raj, and thank you to CBN for always giving me a voice.